So yes, we finally have an agreement within the Senate. This bill is eventually going to pass. Most expect this is going to pass sometime tomorrow morning, but again, we will just have to wait and see. Right now, what we know is your $1,400 stimulus checks. They are coming. They are going to be here soon. But everything was just held up because not of $1,400, because of $100 per week. That is what they were fighting over. That's what they've spent the majority of the day fighting over, was just $100 per week. So I just want to be absolutely clear. Your $1,400 will be coming very soon. Just point this out. This is fake money. You can see it is fake money. It even says for motion picture use only. I just wanted to use that to kind of give you an idea. The $1,400 stimulus checks, yes, this is a fake $1,400, but it was being held up by $100 per week for unemployment benefits. So let me explain where we're at right now. Everything was being held up by one guy, Senator Joe Manchin. You know him, you've come to hate him or love him, but that's the one person that's been holding up this entire bill, this entire stimulus package, the entire $1.9 trillion of relief to the American people and the economy. One guy was holding it up for hours today. So, just a little while ago, we finally get word that Senator Joe Manchin has agreed. He has agreed on the unemployment boost, the unemployment benefits in a certain way. So, this will get extended. We are going to see an additional $300 per week, not $400, but this does mean we move forward. There's additional benefits as well. So we're actually going to see a bigger benefit to people on unemployment, especially the lower income earners on unemployment. So this is really good news there. But here's kind of how it all came down. First, let me just explain initially what Democrats wanted as far as the unemployment benefits. And then you can kind of get an idea of how it's evolved and where it currently sits. Again, this could change, but I don't see this changing in the Senate. I think it's going to pass the Senate. It could potentially change in the House. I don't think it will, but there's going to be more amendments tonight as well. So we will see what happens there. But here's what we know. First, Democrats wanted to have $600 per week in unemployment benefits. Okay. So they wanted $600 per week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. $600 per week. That's what they wanted. Democrats wanted $600 per week in unemployment benefits. Great. Well, then President Biden said, no, let's compromise. Let's just do $400 per week. Okay. So Democrats decided, let's do $400 per week. That's what they agreed on. That's what President Biden wanted. So, okay, let's do $400 per week. Well, the bill went to the House committees. They decided, yeah, $400 a week is good, but let's do, should we do $300 per week? No, let's stick to $400 per week. Some said $300 per week would be good, but they said, no, let's stick to $400 per week. Okay, great. That's exactly how it passed in the House. Well, then it gets kicked over to the Senate, and the Senate decides, you know what? There's a few centrist Democrats here that don't like the $400 per week, so let's just do $300 per week. And so it went down again. And that means we are down to 50%. This is exactly what former President Donald Trump offered. And then if states wanted to kick in that extra $100, they could. Well, this is where we're at right now. $300 per week is what we are going to see if you're on unemployment. This will start on March 15th, which is technically just going to roll right through because there's no changes to the amount. So $300 per week is what you will receive. This is something that Senator Joe Manchin has already agreed to. And on top of that, it's not going to go to August 29th. This is actually going to go to, wait for it, this is just going to blow your mind. Reports indicate this is going to go till September 6th. Yes, one additional week. 1 week. 1 week. They fought for hours today over 1 week. You're probably thinking, why in the world would they do that? That makes absolutely no sense. I thought it was supposed to go till the end of September. Well, it is supposed to go the end of September, but reports indicate right now that no, there's a reason for one additional week as opposed to ending on August 29th. On August 29th, the pretty much Congress will be on their August recess. They will be on vacation. So what we're hearing is Congress doesn't want to have to deal with a unemployment cliff at the end of August when they will be on recess. And they don't want to have to come back early. So what we're hearing is the whole reason everybody was fighting is because they didn't want to deal with either a shortened recess like they had to do in 2020. They didn't want to deal with having to work through their vacation time like they had to do in 2020. They're saying we need to fix this problem now. And even though some people like many people, but some people like Senate Finance Chairman Ron Wyden, he said he was disappointed. However, having a cliff in August is a prescription for chaos. Our priority was avoiding that. We have been able to do that now. So that's what we know. Their priority, their goal was to avoid the potential chaos in August. So they decided to push it back 1 full week. Yes. All this fighting was for 1 full week. But the good news is we finally can move past the unemployment issues. We can finally get past these amendments and we can move on to the next amendments. Right now, there's multiple amendments that are still ready to be made, ready to be proposed in the Senate. But looking at as of recording this, looking at the Senate's feed on YouTube, they're still not doing nothing. There's really not very many people there. So right now, what we know is that this is going to be it's a little bit of a delay. Some say this was a delay tactic from Republicans. Others say this was simply Joe Manchin not agreeing to pretty much fall in line with Democrats. Reports also indicate that House Democrats agree that this will be good enough to pass. So what a lot of people are saying, and I was saying this as well earlier today, is if the progressives in the House do not completely agree with exactly how the bill is written in the Senate and how it's going to be passed in the Senate, we could see House progressives just say, I don't like it, we're not going to support it, let's go back to the drawing board. And then the whole thing is just going to unravel and go right back to where we once were. That would not be good. But reports indicate that no, the House will not have any issues getting this passed as long as nothing else changes. Again, there's more amendments that have yet to be made. So once those amendments are proposed in the Senate, either tonight, later on tonight, tomorrow morning, whenever this happens, I expect we will see some talks on different things. We could potentially see a vote on a few of these different amendments. And if they pass, then we could revisit this talk of, will the House Democrats vote for this or will they not? Another big thing, remember I said that there's another benefit to the unemployment being cut from $400 down to $300. Well, there is another benefit, and that benefit is actually if you make less than $150,000 per year, then you can actually get a tax forgiveness of up to $10,000 in unemployment income. So we don't know if this is going to count for 2020. We don't know if this is going to only count for 2021. Some are expecting that right now, this would most likely account for at least 2021, but some are saying they want to include 2020 as well, because right now it makes absolutely no sense why somebody that is still on unemployment would get a $1,400 stimulus check and then have to just give it right back to the IRS because they still owe unemployment income taxes. Right now, I get it. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of stuff going on. The tax code and all that stuff, I'm not even getting to that because that in itself could be a completely different series. It could be a completely different YouTube channel because there's so much going on there. But right now, that's what we're hearing. And I understand a lot of people are going to be extremely upset by, okay, so here's what we know. So people on unemployment, they get $400 or they get $300 per week. Okay, great. They get this for an additional 24 weeks. It's going to go all the way till actually 21 weeks, all the way until September 6th as of right now. So they're going to get an additional 21 weeks of unemployment benefits at $300 per week. Well, $300 per week times 21, what is that? $6,300. So they're going to get over $6,000 in income just from the boost. And then they, on top of that, they still get their state income. So they're going to be well over $10,000. And then they don't have to pay income taxes on that $10,000. But then somebody that is not on unemployment, and again, this is where I know a lot of people are going to be extremely upset once I point this out, but people that are not on unemployment, they have to pay income taxes on everything. They're thinking, okay, so we that are working are getting screwed out of this additional stimulus, this additional money, additional tax benefits, simply because we have a job. How's that fair? And I get that. I got an email just a little while ago saying that exact same thing. And that was something that I was thinking earlier, like, that is true. That does make sense. And many people pointed that out. There's a lot of people on Twitter saying that exact same thing. And if that didn't make things a little bit hard on you, wondering why are Democrats doing that when they're not supporting the workers? Well, here's something else that we found out. That federal employees, and this is something that was only found out, I don't know who pointed this out, but I was one of the mainstream news outlets, mainstream media, but they pointed out that federal employees could get an additional $1,400 per week to take their kids to a daycare provider. And this would go on for 15 weeks. So federal workers, not that are unemployed, federal workers that currently have a job could get an additional $1,400 per week to take their kids to a daycare service. $1,400 per week. Let that sink in. Right now, Congress is fighting over giving the American people $1,400. They even cut that back. They're going to take out about, I think it's like 12 million people will not get a $1,400 stimulus check. There's like 8 million adults and like 4-point-some million kids that will not get a $1,400 stimulus check. But they're going to give themselves an additional $1,400 per week to go and take their kids to a daycare provider. And that's going to last for about 15 weeks. Now, I don't know if that's still going to be in this bill, but that was pointed out, and that has a lot of people very upset. So, just wanted to point that out. That's one of the things that, based off of reading the bill, which is exactly what Senator Ron Johnson wanted, he wanted the clerks to read the bill so that the American people know what's in it. Well, now we know what's in it. I've read it multiple times, but like I said before, I pretty much speed read right through the whole thing. I try to pick up just the main points, see exactly what there is, so I can explain what's in it. And I completely missed that. I don't even know where it's at. So I haven't gone back to look at it again, but all reports indicate that that is out there. And so that just kind of blew my mind. I'll probably look at that later on tonight, but that's what we know as of right now. Now, we did hear from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and he did say that the vote-a-rama is going to continue, and the Senate will not go home this weekend until this bill gets passed. Not until the vote-a-rama is done, until the bill is passed. They will sit there and debate as long as they have to until this is passed. Now, I know a lot of senators do not want this to go on for too long. I know a lot of the people from the Republican Party, even though they don't have a lot of say in this, even though they want to delay it, they will not delay this for a few days and pretty much sit through this entire process. You gotta remember, senators are not the youngest of people. So it's going to be very difficult for them to sit for too long. We do know right now that we have a little bit over 1 week in order to get the unemployment benefit, or in order to get this package passed before the unemployment insurance benefits expire. And right now, some people are still concerned that this will not actually pass before the unemployment benefits expire. And so here's one thing I just wanted to point out, that we spent about 8 hours today pretty much just twiddling our thumbs, wondering when's the Senate going to do anything. Well, if they end up spending 8 hours doing absolutely nothing, debating, talking, and pretty much just going back and forth with one piece of legislation, some are saying that it would make absolutely no sense to let the unemployment benefits expire when they just spent 8 hours debating over this exact same thing. So that's currently what we know. What I can tell you right now, I'm sure this is going to be a very eventful night for the Senate. We will see what happens tomorrow morning. I don't plan on doing another video later on tonight, even if this bill does pass. I promise I'll do one tomorrow morning, probably around the same time, usually around 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come back and watch that video as well, I'm pretty sure they should have more answers. We could probably see additional amendments, and I will bring all those updates to you tomorrow morning as well. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one.